Ever sense that your intellect, rather than being a blessing, feels more like a haunting curse? Have you observed how the brilliant often find themselves shunned, misunderstood, or cast aside? Why does it appear that mediocrity is more comfortably embraced by society than true genius? Arthur Schopenhauer, one of history's most somber and realistic philosophers, once remarked, "Nothing irritates people more than someone demonstrating intellectual superiority." A glance at history reveals the chilling truth of his words. Socrates faced death for daring to confront the collective ignorance of his time. Giordano Bruno was burned alive for his audacious thoughts that transcended the boundaries of his era. Nikola Tesla, a visionary, died in obscurity and poverty, his revolutionary ideas reshaping the world long after his demise. In our current age, where information flows like a dark river, intelligence can still feel like a shackle to isolation. Society may profess a love for progress and innovation, yet it shuns the very souls who embody that evolution. Excessive intelligence can become a lurking threat, an unsettling mirror that reflects the inadequacies of others. Ironically, the more brilliant one is, the higher the likelihood of encountering rejection, solitude, and even hostility. But does this imply that the intelligent are fated to dwell in the shadows of society? Or is there a path to reconcile genius with acceptance? This is the chilling exploration we will undertake in this video. We will delve into Schopenhauer's insights and modern psychological perspectives to uncover why intelligence can lead to a life of despair and how one might evade such a grim fate. Prepare yourself, for the revelations that lie ahead may forever alter your perception of reality. Intelligence, once seen as a blessing, often morphs into a heavy curse. From a tender age, those gifted with exceptional intellect come to understand that their view of the world is shrouded in shadows, while their childhood companions find solace in simple truths. The more astute delve into inquiries that unsettle even the most stoic adults. This growing discomfort festers over time, transforming into a barrier that isolates rather than unites. Instead of being celebrated, brilliance frequently incites envy and disdain. Schopenhauer articulated this grim truth. With chilling precision, the measure of one's intelligence is determined by the depths of uncertainty they can endure. Yet, this endurance is not merely an intellectual trial. It is a haunting emotional weight. Society, which clings to conformity and predictability, casts a wary eye on those who dare to question the status quo. Thus, rather than finding belonging, exceptional minds often find themselves ensnared in solitude. The true tragedy lies not just in their heightened perception, but in their ability to see the horrors that others would prefer to overlook. This acute awareness breeds a profound sense of alienation. Mundane conversations feel like echoes in a void, social interactions become a labyrinth of frustration, and the search for kindred spirits often leads to despair. This loneliness is not a choice. It is a dark fate wrought by society's reaction to brilliance. Throughout the annals of history, countless luminaries have endured this cruel exclusion. Socrates faced death not for his actions, but for illuminating the flaws in collective reasoning. Giordano Bruno was condemned to flames, his radical ideas too perilous for the church to bear. The shadows of their fates linger, a chilling reminder of the price of insight. Nikola Tesla passed away in poverty and obscurity, even as the world reaped the benefits of his innovations. In each instance, exceptional intelligence was perceived as a threat, and the fate of these brilliant individuals was not an isolated case. It was a recurring theme. But what causes this phenomenon? Why does intelligence elicit hostility instead of admiration? Schopenhauer suggested that it is because superior intelligence cannot be easily dismissed or downplayed. When someone possesses wealth or power, others may attribute it to luck or privilege. However, intelligence is inherent, a troubling distinction that highlights intellectual disparities. This unease generates what psychologists refer to as a cognitive threat, where the mere presence of a more intelligent individual can evoke feelings of inferiority in others, even if that person has no intention of belittling anyone. This reaction is instinctual, which is why many tend to shun or reject those with above-average intelligence. The issue is that this rejection is not limited to individuals, but is a societal phenomenon. Educational systems cater to the average. Workplaces prioritize conformity, and popular culture often celebrates simplicity over depth. Consequently, intelligence, rather than being an advantage, becomes a barrier to social acceptance. The lingering question is this rejection simply a psychological defense mechanism, or is there a deeper issue at play? Why does society appear to favor mediocrity? This is precisely what we will delve into next. Intelligence serves not only as a personal characteristic, but also as an uncomfortable reflection of our realities. When an individual showcases exceptional reasoning, they not only captivate, but, often unwittingly, lay bare the intellectual frailties of those around them. This revelation, no matter how discreet, festers into a dark resentment. As Schopenhauer noted, talent strikes a target no one else can hit. Genius strikes a target no one else can see, and what remains unseen often looms as a menacing specter. The envy of intellect is a far more sinister beast than the envy of wealth or status. Money can be inherited, power can be seized through manipulation, but intelligence is a rare gift, elusive and unattainable for many. This breeds a particular kind of bitterness, the silent agony of recognizing that one may forever dwell in the shadows of greater understanding. Such discomfort ignites psychological defenses, prompting individuals to reject, belittle, or even viciously attack those who shine brighter. This unsettling dynamic emerges early in life. Gifted children often find themselves ostracized, branded as oddities or know-it-alls. Intellectual bullying is no mere accident. It is a primal instinct, a desperate attempt by groups to shield themselves from anyone who threatens to shatter their fragile equilibrium. The same dark currents flow into adulthood. In professional settings, brilliant minds frequently face hostility, not due to incompetence, but because their brilliance casts a long, unsettling shadow over the insecurities of others. This behavior is deeply embedded in human psychology. To stave off the anguish of feeling inferior, the mind conjures justifications to diminish those who evoke such feelings. This is where phrases like intelligence means nothing without common sense, or they're smart, but lack social skills emerge, cloaked in a veneer of rationality. Such reasoning dulls the emotional sting of comparison, allowing intelligence to be diminished and supplanted by more palatable standards. The irony lies in the fact that, even when cast aside, intelligence remains a coveted trait. Many gaze in awe at the great minds from afar, yet few would dare to share their space. This is because, when confronted with intelligence up close, it compels others to scrutinize their own certainties. It dismantles established truths and demands relentless reassessment, a process that most find too harrowing to bear. The dismissal of brilliant minds transcends mere individual psychology. It mirrors a deeper malaise within society, a collective aversion to the extraordinary. While society craves progress, it recoils from those who embody it. Anything that threatens the fragile equilibrium of the group, be it a novel idea, a revolutionary paradigm, or a prodigious intellect, will inevitably face resistance. This dread of brilliance can manifest in various forms. Sometimes it appears as subtle avoidance or a lack of acknowledgement. At other times, it erupts into more overt hostility, such as mockery or even vicious aggression. The shadows of fear loom large, casting a pall over those who dare to shine too brightly. The rejection of exceptionally intelligent individuals does not stem from their inability to connect. Rather, it arises because their very presence challenges the status quo. This unsettling truth sheds light on why, throughout history, countless geniuses have faced persecution, neglect, or even eradication. Society tends to recognize their brilliance only when it is too late, when their revolutionary ideas no longer threaten the established order. This tragic cycle of resistance and belated acceptance creates a heartbreaking paradox. The most gifted minds, who have so much to contribute, are often the ones who find it hardest to carve out a space for themselves in the world. Yet, if this is the case, why does mediocrity consistently prevail? Why do those who are ordinary, predictable, and conformist seem to navigate social life with greater ease? This irony of existence is profound, and it is precisely what we will delve into next. Society likes to think it values intelligence, but the truth reveals a different narrative. In daily life, mediocrity is not just tolerated, it is often celebrated. Average individuals find it simpler to blend in, forge connections, and even attain success. In contrast, those who dare to challenge the norm with their intellect encounter resistance, isolation, and sometimes outright hostility. This occurs because mediocrity offers comfort, while genius disrupts the familiar. Schopenhauer captured this dynamic poignantly when he remarked, "To be popular, one must be mediocre. The average person poses no threat. They uphold the group's beliefs, avoid provoking deeper thought, and spare others from discomfort." The reality is a somber reflection on the human condition, where brilliance is often met with fear and rejection. This engenders what sociologists term a cognitive safety zone, a realm where individuals can linger without the gnawing fear of inferiority or insecurity. The insidious effects of mediocrity seep into every corner of society. In the workplace, for instance, the truly capable are often eclipsed by their more affable and predictable peers. Innovation is not dismissed for its flaws, but rather for the threat it poses to the fragile equilibrium of the familiar. In the realm of entertainment, superficial and easily digestible content reigns supreme, while profound and challenging ideas are met with hostility. In education, the brightest minds are frequently stifled, as the system is crafted to nurture the average rather than the extraordinary. Mediocrity thrives in its comfort. It fosters a false sense of belonging and cultivates an atmosphere where no one must face their own inadequacies. While intelligence dares to challenge and reveal, mediocrity offers solace and shields the soul. This is why so many opt for conformity, even when they harbor the potential for greatness. The yearning for acceptance eclipses the pursuit of truth. But does this imply that the intelligent are fated to wander in solitude and despair? Not necessarily. History whispers of paths that allow one to traverse this shadowy world without losing their essence. The isolation of the astute is not a choice, but a grim consequence. From a young age, those who perceive the world with heightened clarity sense an unsettling difference. Their inquiries disturb the peace, their reflections feel excessive, and their worries remain unshared by those around them. In this darkened landscape, the light of intelligence flickers, often extinguished by the weight of conformity. Gradually, they come to understand their solitude, not out of desire, but due to the scarcity of those with whom they can genuinely connect. Schopenhauer articulated this sentiment accurately: solitude is the fate of all great minds. This solitude transcends mere physical isolation. It encompasses the feeling that those around them do not share the same depth of thought or understanding. A genius finds little value in shallow conversations, is unfulfilled by trivial distractions, and often lacks the patience for social interactions that feel hollow and draining. This sense of isolation can take many forms. Some individuals may shine brightly, yet remain distant, admired from a distance, but never truly comprehended. Others may attempt to conform, dulling their brilliance to gain acceptance, and sacrificing their true selves for the sake of social belonging. Then there are those who simply withdraw, retreating into an inner world where they can think freely, albeit at the cost of the human connection they crave. The solitude experienced by genius is not merely about the absence of friends or acknowledgement. It can foster a deep sense of disillusionment, the belief that no matter their efforts, they will never be fully understood. This is one of the reasons many exceptional thinkers and artists have experienced bouts of depression and despair. They perceived things that others could not, yet instead of being appreciated, they were often overlooked, mocked, or even persecuted. Nevertheless, this sense of isolation can also signify something more profound. A mind that is ahead of its time will inevitably face opposition. While recognition may not be immediate, history demonstrates that many ideas dismissed in the present eventually become accepted truths in the future. But how does one cope with this solitude? How can one discover purpose and meaning in a world that appears antagonistic to intelligence? This brings us to the crucial question: is there a way out of this predicament? Next, if intelligence can lead to rejection, isolation, and even unhappiness, the pressing question arises: is there a path for those who perceive beyond the ordinary, or are they destined to exist on the outskirts of society like many past geniuses? Schopenhauer, who was always doubtful of human nature, believed that the truly wise individual should withdraw from the world. For him, attempting to conform to a society that prizes mediocrity was a pointless endeavor. Intelligence remains unseen by those who lack it. But is that the only choice? In reality, isolation can serve as a temporary refuge to prevent frustration, allowing for introspection where intelligence can thrive without the constraints of others' judgments. Yet, human beings are intrinsically social creatures. To live in utter isolation is to forsake a core aspect of the human experience. One of the most potent strategies is the meticulous selection of environments and social circles. Instead of forcing oneself into spaces devoid of depth, the exceptionally intelligent should seek out realms that cherish critical thought, creativity, and innovation. This might involve immersing oneself in academic enclaves, philosophical societies, or even forging connections with like-minded intellects online. where the shadows of discussion stretch far and wide. Another vital tactic is what psychologists term strategic adaptation. This does not imply concealing one's brilliance, but rather mastering the delicate dance of adjusting it to fit the context. Not every exchange must be profound, nor does every interaction need to challenge the mind. The ability to discern when to unleash knowledge and when to retreat into silence can be as potent a social weapon as intelligence itself. Furthermore, there lies immense power in channeling intelligence into something that resonates with the world. Many a genius, shunned in their time, later emerged from the abyss of obscurity, their ideas haunting society in ways that could not be ignored. Instead of waiting for acknowledgement, the most brilliant minds can direct their intellect toward something beyond themselves, whether in science, art, philosophy, or any domain where they can leave a meaningful legacy. It's crucial to recognize that not everyone will grasp or value intelligence, and that realization can be disheartening. The quest for universal acceptance often leads to disappointment. True satisfaction lies in discovering those few who genuinely resonate with your values and passions. Even if they are scarce, it is far better to be part of a small circle of kindred spirits than to feel adrift in a sea of faces that overlook the depths of your being. Intelligence can feel like a heavy burden, yet it also serves as a formidable instrument. The world can be unkind to the gifted, but those who learn to maneuver through its intricacies may still uncover meaning and purpose, even in the face of adversity. The pressing question is not whether intelligence brings suffering, but how each individual chooses to wield it. Intelligence can be both a blessing and a curse. As we have observed, the most brilliant minds often endure rejection, loneliness, and resistance, not due to a lack of connection, but because their very presence disrupts the comfort of mediocrity. Schopenhauer anticipated this when he remarked, "The greater the mind, the more it will suffer in the company of men." Yet, suffering need not be the unavoidable destiny of the highly intelligent. The real inquiry is not whether intelligence ruins lives, but how it is ultimately applied. Those who master the art of navigating social intricacies, balance their intelligence, and identify the appropriate venues for expression can transform what appears to be a burden into an invaluable asset. While the world may overlook brilliance in the moment, it is consistently influenced by those who dare to envision beyond the ordinary. If you've reached this point, it's likely because you experienced the struggle personally. Perhaps you felt out of sync, misunderstood, or even stifled in conversations that lack substance. There are others like you, curious minds, seekers of truth, who are dissatisfied with simplistic answers. More importantly, the world needs thinkers like you. If this video struck a chord with you, please leave a comment below. I'd love to know, have you ever felt that your intellect has been more of a hindrance than a help? How did you cope with it? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please take a moment to do so and turn on the notification bell. Here, we cherish profound thinking and challenge shallow concepts. Before you leave, don't miss the upcoming video on your screen. It could completely alter your view on another remarkable thinker who also faced rejection. But be warned, after watching, you may never perceive the world in the same way again. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reflection. Please share your thoughts, and always conclude your reply with the words,